Entertainment Weekly coverage of Comic-Con 2017. Very excited to be here with some members of the cast of HBO's series Game of Thrones. Thank you all for being here. We just saw the season premiere of Season 7. A lot of things happening. I want to kind of start off, though, all the way up north in the frozen wasteland. Brienne, he's been on a real journey these last few seasons, going all the way up. I loved, that scene. He's both meeting a character he's not met before, there at the Night's Watch, and the implication is he's kind of returning to Westeros. What was it like, kind of filming that sequence? His return is sort of closer to home.
It was nice to be on a sort of recognisable set for once, rather than just being miles away in various caves and forests.
It was the quarry in Belfast, was it?
Oh, that was. Oh no, that wasn't actually the arrival. But I just no, that wasn't it. Oh yes, no, it was. Yeah, you're right.
These are the people I have to work with. I don't even know where they are. Unbelievable.
Are you the ones who are like keeping everything on track then?
I just drunk all the time, man. I just keep saying on an evil keel.
On a what?
Even keel, I said. I said evil keel, didn't I? I did actually.
That would be kind of revelation if Davos has been on an evil keel. This whole time.
An evil keel. It would be actually.
Moving further south down the map, we saw Brienne have a little moment with a few different people at Winterfell. Can you kind of talk about what's her perspective now as we kind of prepare for the wars to come? I mean, what does she kind of see as her main duty going forward in this season?
That's a very interesting question, because as we see Brienne back at Winterfell, we see that she's with Sansa, that she's there in place, and it feels like she's going towards consolidating her oath. And so what I think we'll see throughout the season is actually Brienne starting to question what received authority is and take on more of an independent decision-making process. Mm-hmm. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I like
Where did you get that?
Okay.
Where did it come from?
It's straight my foot. It just came out. I tapped my foot. I've had this thing fitted. I tapped my foot, and then it's
I think it came out of another part of your anatomy, but however. Go ahead, sir. I'm all ears.
You're saying she's beginning to be more of an independent thinker.
Yeah, I think so, because I think we've seen Brienne being an incredibly honourable character, but one who has operated from a received sense of what honour is. And now in the world is not at all as she expected, and there's no one's clear as to whether they're good or evil, and that grey area means that there's a increasing decision-making process that happens moment to moment.
Well, and speaking of not exactly what we expected, we left off with Sam last season. Yeah. A glowing sunlight kind of coming down. It seems as if things were going to go great for him. The montage of, we'll call it the montage of crap. I think we can say that here.
The crap montage. It was great. It was fantastic, wasn't it?
To talk about kind of like beginning with him at that point this season. It feels like here's someone. I feel like Sam has been through so much already, and even so, that was difficult to see. What's it kind of like for him being in this place where it's clear that it's not what he was expecting, and people maybe aren't responding to the whole Walker threat in the way that he was hoping?
Well, it's so tough for Sam because he's been such an outsider all of his life, and he thought that when he got to the Citadel, he'd be in a place where he was accepted for the first time, where people take his passions and interests on board and do believe in the importance of applied knowledge in academia and the fact that it can be a very useful tool in somebody's arsenal, maybe. The fact that they can use this knowledge that they've amassed over thousands of years and apply it. And he gets there and he finds that people aren't necessarily of the same mindset of him. And maybe he feels just as much of an outsider there as he does anywhere else. And that montage, that's what I love the most about where the show's going. I think that episode 1 did all the things that an episode 1 should do, in so much as it established everybody's geography and everybody's psychology and everybody's motive. But they did it in a kind of entertaining way where you didn't really notice that you were being spoon-fed information and exposition. And when you see Sam, that is him frustrated because he can't fulfill his promise to Jon. He said to Jon, send me to the Citadel and I will get you results. And he's been prevented from doing that, and he knows just what a kind of race against time it is. So you see him in that montage, you see him wasting time, being forced to waste time and existing in a world where he feels like such an outsider all over again, and feels that he's letting Jon down every single second that he's not doing what he promised.
At the risk of asking a question that I'm not sure I want the answer to, what was that stuff on set that you were...
can I say turds? I can say turds, right? Well, turds. It was
It was tough.
It was George.
no. The turds were
Right. Okay.
the turds were THE turds were wet fruitcake, like fruitcake squashed into turd shape.
That sounds almost as bad as what they're supposed to
that's
be.
the thing. That's the thing about that. You go on set at 6:30 in the morning with wet fruitcake. It's fine. If you're still there
The
at
person who
5
does these.
o'clock with the same cakey turd,
Who
then
was
it's
the
going to be
person
one.
who got the job of making them? What was on their CV? What was on their resume?
Yeah, I know.
Fruitcake turd manufacturer. I mean, yeah, let's get them. They've plenty of experience in the turd manufacturing industry.
You have to send Polaroids in of turds.
It's a- yeah.
But can I just say as well, Sam was not, as some people have asked me on Twitter, Sam was not feeding the maesters back their own turds. That's what somebody asked.
It was
me.
more symbolic.
It's
than
more
the
about
actual-
the cycle of life.
It's about the cycle of life.
You give it to people, they get
You
rid
put
of
it in one hand, it comes out the
That's
other.
just through their body. And
Basically,
Sam's at both ends with a bowl.
We didn't see too much of Davos, but I kind of want to ask the same question about him that I asked about Brienne. I mean, here is someone who has been involved in so many different sort of aspects of the greater war within Westeros. So many different masters he's served. What is his motivation now as we kind of go into the end game of the series?
Well, like my good self, Davos is a simple man. I mean, I think one of the reasons that the fans kind of like him is that he's kind of unwavering in his loyalty and decency. You'll stop smiling. Such, that's so not me.
I just like
Leave us
you.
alone. We're trying to talk. Can't you see we're trying to have
I'm
a
sorry if
conversation?
I'm distracted.
Anyway, his loyalties are very definitely with Jon Snow. He's a good man. He's a good man to have. We know that this show is a huge part of it is about the corrupting nature of power. And I mean, Stannis was essentially a good man who got swept away to the extent that he murdered his own child. It's a horrific drug. Is power. And Jon, being a young man, kind of could do with an extra brain, or in my case, half a brain. You don't need to agree. So I'm loving this new the new relationship with Mr. Snow. It's really cool. I mean,
I'm still kind of waiting for that conversation between your characters, just because you both had different relationships with Stannis, and it seems like there's a lot to potentially work out there in a more in-depth way.
There's a lot of history there.
there's a slight bit
And
of animosity.
I don't think it's going away anytime
Anytime
soon.
soon. No, it's going to break. You can sense the frisson in the air. Something's got to give.
That might be what you're playing. It's certainly not what I'm playing.
Yeah, but it's what's happening.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see where that frisson goes. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
I'm looking forward to it. I've put in a couple of, seeing possibilities and stuff. I haven't heard back from the guys.
So much more to see this season. Game of Thrones cast, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Stick around
Thank
for more
you.
at the Entertainment Weekly coverage of Comic-Con 2017.